7 clarity questions designed to help us understand the truth amid the confusion. The path of clarity versus ambiguity. Those are the two paths we have before us today. I choose the path of clarity, but it requires some discipline, some process to ask 7 important questions to understand not only what's going on, but what to do about it and whether now is the time to take action. First clarity question, is there now a reason to evaluate the situation? I call this the cause for pause. Is there something going on in the world, in the environment, that makes us say we need to take a look further? A meteorologist responds to the data coming in saying there is something going on. High winds, strong rain, landslides. There's a reason to pause to understand something is going on, and then to dig in on what that is and why, as our other questions will reveal to us. Question number 1 challenges us to accept external clues. As an individual, as an organization, as a corporation, as a nation, are we willing to listen to the data, to what's happening around us? The second question is, what is really happening here? What is really happening here? And this tests the individual, the team, the organization, their ability to discern the truth among the noise. A lot of opinions, a lot of ideas, a lot of data. The ability to sift through and say, what is really going on? Is this an emotional crisis? Is it a fiscal challenge? Is there something organizationally that is broken, that is not working? Is there some sort of an opportunity that is looming out here that really is worth pursuing? And understanding and choosing sources is important here, to have sources we are confident in their veracity. The third question, why are things the way they are? This is my favorite question. It has to do with root cause. What is behind what's going on? There might be 5 factors at play, but which of these factors is most important? Which of these, as we're going to talk about, can be most affected? First of all, we start out to say, what is really going on here? We don't start fixing things before we know what is broken. We don't start going in and changing environmental factors. We don't start changing organizational structure. We don't start moving things around until we understand what's going on. That's happening right now with organizations. Are we internal? Do we let people work externally or from home, remotely? What's going on here to affect performance? What's going to help the organization? But we need to understand what's really going on first. This is where a mechanical mindset, a process mindset kicks in. A Kaizen approach might work to really dive in quickly and thoroughly on what is the start, what is the cause of. Some people look for what is the big thing, what's the mover happening in the culture, society. Some look to the micro, very, very, very small slice to determine what is happening. My experience has been we need to zoom in, we need to zoom out to understand root cause. We can't go purely anecdotally, nor can we go on megatrends to understand why things are the way they are. Once we understand what factors are involved in this root cause, the things that might be changed, our fourth question, how can these factors be changed? Sometimes we see that we have a major root cause, that really is not inside our purview, our ability economically, emotionally, resource-wise, energy-wise, to take on. There might be 2 or 3 other factors that contribute to the root cause that are more within our ability to change things. So how can they be changed? Can we elevate something? Can we put more pedal to the metal? Can we back off? Sometimes in relationships, in the selling environment, in the PR environment, we're trying to influence people. Sometimes we need to take a more personal approach. Sometimes we need to take a more measured approach. Sometimes we need to back off a little bit and allow people to come to their own conclusions. Sometimes we need to help others be our fuel, our energy, advocating for a change. Question number 5, we're getting there, and that is, if changed, what will be the result? Now, normally there's a balance between positive and negative, intended and unintended consequences. In some cases, we're going to try and change things where we can see what happens and apply more interest, more energy, more resources to accelerate and magnify the change. Sometimes it's better to start small to see if it really works. So understanding the implications of what's going to happen. It's easy to get wrapped up in that, all the scenarios, all the possibilities. And that's why working on a smaller scale, on a localized basis, with a few people in government to see what will happen and what kind of momentum could be built out of it makes sense. In other cases, it requires a widespread, massive change all at once. And that's where a lot of research and intellect and insight goes into understanding, if changed, what will be the results. Because in some cases, we can rewind what happened. In other cases, there is no turning back. Question number 6 really flows from question number 5, and they all work together. Each one deserves attention, but it's the aggregation of the 7 that really shows us the advisability of 7 clarity questions. Question number 6, is it advisable to make this change? And that's where all of the weighing and the balancing come into, where we have to look in the mirror. We have to, from a moral, legal, ethical point of view, saying, is this a good thing? We might think it's a good thing for us, but is it a good thing for those it affects? And trying to be in charge, trying to be the grown-up, trying to be the adult, and looking at other people as incapable is not the way to go here. Giving people the freedom to be part of their future, the decisions, is important. So understand that there may be a process attached to this. Might say it's advisable to make the change, but how we're going to do this and how we're going to involve other people says that we've got to do it on a more measured basis, on a more even keel, and with less emotion attached to it. Question number 6, is it advisable to make such changes? And the 7th clarity question: is now the optimum time to take action? Is now the time to change things? All time is not created equal. Time is a huge variable in the decisions we make, and even understanding what's going on. Is what's happening now an anomaly? Is it a trend? Is it a fad? Is this the way of the future? All decisions are not equal based upon the timing in which they're made. Just because we can make the change, it doesn't mean we should make it. And just because we should make it, it doesn't mean that now is the time. Perhaps we need to wait a week, a month, a year to see how the situation evolves. Now, knowing that there are some factors that need to be changed now for bigger change later, yes, there might be incremental change that needs to happen now. Maybe we need to start influencing somebody. Maybe the change that needs to start happening is a change of heart. Now is the time to plow emotional ground to make better decisions in the future. Now is the time to prepare to change an organization, to change a structure, to change a product, to change a food, to change a life, to change an organization, to change a governmental agency, to change the way we behave, the way we do things. But just because we need to do it doesn't mean that now is the time. Time is a factor. These are the 7 clarity questions. Each of them is important. Together they work to move from ambiguity to clarity. Starting today, I'm Peter Reese in the pursuit of clarity in a world of ambiguity.